Okay, just giving you a quick little tour of the aircraft. This is a Cessna 182. It's a fixed-wing single-engine airplane. It has a
2293, climb and maintain, final 230, contact Kansas City Center, 134.62.
Those are my friends at Kansas City Center that are talking to us, kind of keeping watch over us. Anyway, it's a single-engine airplane with a controllable propeller that can be, the pitch of it can change. You want to go, cruise versus climb or something like that. Anyway, these are some of the basic instruments here. This right here is what's called the attitude indicator, sometimes called the artificial horizon. Basically says if you're pointing up or down with respect to the sky. Up here is something called a course deviation indicator. If you have it tuned to a certain type of radio station called a VOR, it'll tell you not how far you are from it, but what direction you're from it, and if you're trying to go in a straight line in that same direction, whether or not you're on track. Right below it is a course deviation indicator for the GPS, which we have active right now, and there it is. That's the lower thing right there. We have it tuned to the Amory, Wisconsin airport, Alpha Hotel. We're about 312 miles away from it, and the estimation is that we'll be there in about 2 hours and 47 minutes, or 2 hours and 48 minutes. Over here is called the heading indicator, and that says it's similar to a compass, except that it actually has a gyroscope in it, and it tells us what direction the nose of the airplane is pointed, which may be different from the direction we're actually going, depending on what the wind is saying. This is our airspeed indicator. It tells us our airspeed in miles per hour on the outside and knots on the inside. It doesn't necessarily tell us how fast we're going over the ground because of the effect of wind. Right below that is the altimeter. It's a sensitive barometric pressure unit. It tells us once we set the Colesman window here to whatever the local barometric pressure is, it'll tell us our height above sea level. Right now we're about 7,580 feet above sea level, and that's about 6,700 feet above the ground in this part of the country.
1950, contact Kansas City Center now, 133.47.
Over here is the RPMs. That tells us it's a tachometer for the propeller. Above that is something called the manifold pressure gauge. It's a way of telling us how much power we're putting to the engine, and we use these knobs down here to control that. The big black knob is the throttle. Basically, you push in, go fast, pull out to go slow. The blue knob controls the pitch of the propeller. Whether if you push it in, you increase the RPMs, and you have better climb capability. You pull it back, and you have newer RPMs, and it's kind of like being using overdrive on an automobile. And then the red knob over here is something called the mixture, which is something in a car you don't have to worry about, but it does. It controls the ratio of air and fuel going into the carburetor. And then this little white thing says carb heat is the carburetor heat. We sometimes need to use that to avoid ice building up in the carburetors.